Good day, everybody. It is a good day.
It is a good day.
It's Podcast Unlocked, episode 234 for February 24th, 2016, the eve of the Xbox and Windows 10 Spring Game Showcase, which we'll all be at tomorrow. It is embargoed, so we'll have coverage for you whenever they legally tell us we can. But besides me, Ryan McCaffrey, Mitch Dyer, who you know, and Destin Legary, who you know.
Hi, everybody.
There's a dapper man sitting in the room. He's bespectacled.
Yes, I am.
He's got a blazer that looks like it's, looks like it set him back a couple of bucks.
Well, I was understanding there was a dress code here at IGN. Apparently, there's not.
No.
After walking through the newsroom.
What are you trying to say?
We got
through the newsroom, not you guys.
I'm wearing an indie band shirt from Arizona. What do you want? This is Larry Hryb. You know him better as Major Nelson.
Hey, guys.
The ultimate crossover. This is the Batman versus Superman.
This is happening right now.
I'm very happy.
This is happening.
We've been
right
talking
now.
about having you on the show for literally years.
And
Since
I haven't
worked
putting
here.
you off for literally. No, I haven't. It's never worked out. It just never worked out. And I'm so thrilled we did. I mean, Ryan, in his due diligence, saw. I was like, wait a minute, he's in San Francisco. And I was
Twitter stalk you.
Yeah, I'm so focused on the fact we talked about this event we're doing tomorrow. I'm so focused on that I was like, wait a minute. Yeah, I am. Wait a minute. Yeah, we can do this. And here I am.
Well, it is good to have you finally.
Thank you.
Sadly, we both have hard outs after an hour.
It's
so
60 minutes.
Normally, this would be a 2-hour show where we would get into the life story of Larry Hryb. And
is 2 hours enough?
Well,
for my life story, 2 hours.
I guess we'll find out another time.
Yes,
so
part one begins now.
Exactly.
You're going to be spared the 60-minute style Charlie Rose interview
That's fine.
today. But
Beads of sweat coming
you're
down.
kind enough to sit in on the whole show. We've got a lot of just the week's Xbox topics.
I got to tell you, first of all, I
about.
want to thank you guys for inviting me. This really means a
Thank
lot
you
to
for
me,
coming.
and I'm so thrilled to be here. And you guys got a lot. There's a lot to talk about this week.
There is a lot to talk about
and I will do what I
this week.
can to help provide some color from from the console
I mean, what
side.
I did want to start with, first of all, I noted you, of course, are the director of programming for Xbox Live, which is the vaguest, weirdest title ever.
Not only that, but I've chatted about this in the past and in other places, but I'll share it with your massive audience. That's actually a dated title. That's
time for a new business card.
So my title actually, most companies have like global address books, and you can look people up.
Yeah.
My title, if you look inside the Microsoft Global Address Book, is just Major Nelson.
What?
I swear to God.
That is baller.
It is. That's all it says.
That's amazing.
I want that to become like a ubiquitous title at other companies. Like, I want to be the Major Nelson of IGN.
Right.
I don't know what that means.
But that's what I'm saying. It's one of those weird things where people are like, what do you do? And they look me up in the address book and they're like,
I'm Major Nelson.
And they kind of cock their heads a little bit. And the people that get it understand it. The people that don't kind of like it. That's a fun conversation.
Are there
incredible.
associate Major Nelsons?
There is not. There's only one.
Well, there's
Just
Jeff
one.
Rubenstein, right?
Well, Jeff, yeah, of course, Jeff.
Jeff Rubenstein, title Associate Major Nelson.
Major Nelson Jr.
Lieutenant Nelson.
I'll let him know that.
But yeah, you're just the sort of day-to-day face and public conduit, I think. Is that fair to say for the Xbox
That's
community?
one thing that I do. There's a lot that I do behind the scenes that a lot of people aren't aware of. That
You just do the podcast
You have
and that's
this week in Xbox.
Yeah.
Which you stole that name from me from 10 years ago.
That's right.
From KLXM.
Well, that's actually decommissioned inside Xbox. It's all trades around, doesn't it?
Yeah, it's all good. No one cares.
Just Ryan's
But yeah, you're out there. You're on the dashboard. You're on social media.
Yeah.
You're at the forefront of all things Xbox communications. So
Yeah, I've been there since 2003.
you're up to 912,000 Twitter followers.
Is that what it is?
I just took a look today because
Okay.
I was curious. Because I had this weird memory for no reason of, since tomorrow is, or today by the time anybody hears this, the Xbox Spring Showcase.
Right.
The first
Very
time you
excited.
guys did one of these, it was about because I've been here 4 years. It was probably 5 or 6 years ago.
Yep.
And then there were a few of them, and then you guys stopped, and now they're back.
Yep.
But anyway, I just had this weird memory of you had just passed 300,000 or 400,000
Right.
Twitter followers at that time.
Right.
So it's just incredible growth. Your reach is impressive. So what I
pretty
wanted
big
to do
footprint.
is preemptively, you're going to cross 1 million followers inevitably here in the next probably year or less.
I'm hoping it's by E3. Privately.
And so I want to be the first to actually promote you to Admiral.
Oh, there we go.
Nelson.
Yes, thank you very much. Thank you.
Congrats.
1 million followers is
Yes,
going to be
thank
nothing
you.
to sneeze at.
No, look, I don't even look at the number. I just do what I do, and then I realize, holy, wow.
Like a horrendous amount of people are listening.
Just saw me misspell this word.
Right.
Or they're like, they're going to see this thing or whatever. I always looked in this. I've always done this with Xboxes. It's kind of and you guys know this when you're doing the podcast, it's just us in a room. You forget that there could be a million people listening.
People.
It's just us hanging out.
Yeah.
And that's kind of the way I do it. Have fun.
Yeah, sometimes we say dumb stuff on the internet, and then we don't realize till the backlash
That's
kicks
never
in.
happened.
We said some dumb stuff on the internet.
Never happens.
But so yeah, what I did want to talk to you about, the one sort of Larry specific thing while you're here,
Sure,
because it's been a topic this week.
Yeah.
It's been trending. So Xbox Live has been having some stability issues.
Oh yeah.
Over the last, week, and because I sent out a tweet about it and saying, it's a good thing. It's newsworthy because it rarely happens, and a lot of people were like, well, what about the last 8 days it's been down? I mean, you've been there since the beginning.
Absolutely.
Can you help, now that you're here with us, can you help the people that don't work at Microsoft, the average user that's just at home? Because a big complaint I heard, and it's a very justifiable one, is that, man, Xbox Live was down. I couldn't even play my digital content because it couldn't sign in and authenticate.
Sure, yeah.
So, how do you feel like things have been? I mean, Live and PSN have been subject to denial of service attacks. There are these seemingly more malicious people that are constantly targeting, as the service has gotten bigger and bigger. What do you want to say to sort of Xbox fans about, because they want to be on their Xbox, they want to enjoy their stuff. And, and it does, lately there have been some bumps in the road.
Yeah, there absolutely have been. And keeping our fans connected to the games they love is the most important thing at Microsoft. The company has a history of, in many ways, we really innovate a lot in a lot of spaces regarding gaming and the internet, with Xbox Live, putting a lot of people forget, and you guys certainly remember, that we put a network port in the back of the original Xbox a year before we knew what we were going to do with it.
Right.
Like, we got to put it in there, which really means it was in there 2 years because you start production, et cetera.
I'm also really looking forward to the first network pork coming to Xbox.
That'll be coming soon. So
my favorite slip ever. Love that.
If you're Jewish, I'm sorry about that. Anyway, things have gotten more complex. You talked about, the Xbox Live and PSN. I can't speak to PSN, but everything is now connected. This Internet of Things. I just read a story this morning about how an auto manufacturer has APIs that allow
Nissan.
I'll let you out them. Yes, I'll let you talk about them. Where they have unencrypted access to their APIs.
Yeah, it's bad.
Which okay, that's a lot of big words, but if people that know what they mean, that's
the car.
Right, it's bad.
Remote
so what I'm saying is that everything is now connected. The world is much more complicated. And it's the console. Xbox One is certainly a more willing, able, and sophisticated console than Xbox 360.
Of course.
When we developed Xbox 360, because I was there at the beginning, we had a very specific. It was actually one of the very first app stores. A lot of people forget that.
That's true.
Right? When we think about
I had Greg Canessa in here recently.
Yeah, Greg, I saw that. That was a great interview.
Thank you very much.
I miss Greg. How is he?
I'll tell you what I love about Greg. He's as passionate about his live arcade days.
Oh yeah.
8 years removed from working at the company. Yeah, that's what I love about.
Yeah, he really we innovated in a lot of ways that way. But to get back to your point is everything is really, I don't want to say it's complicated, but it kind of is.
Yeah.
And there's a lot going on out there, and I also want to point out the fact that saying live is down is kind of this everyone just kind of knee-jerk response, because if you can't play your game, then it doesn't matter that you can watch your movies or something else. Mm-hmm. But live historically as a whole hasn't really gone down in a long time. It's just certain components of it. And I want to also remind folks is they hit me up on Twitter, they hit Phil up on Twitter, they'll hit you up, they'll hit anybody up, is make sure you follow Xbox support on Twitter. Those are the guys and girls. There's a whole team. There's a room about the size of your newsroom where they're looking at what's going on. They track it real time. I certainly track it if I can, but I've got my other duties as well. And we've got a page on Xbox.com that says exactly what the status is. Oh, okay, I can't do this, but I can do this, this,
core
and this.
services.
Right, all those other things. So I actually helped develop that whole thing there. So what I want to make sure people know is, A, where to go so they can see if somebody yells live is down. Wait a minute, what does that mean? Go take a look, and you'll see that maybe it won't impact you. But I will say this is that I haven't gotten a full debrief on what's happening over the past few days because I've been traveling and so on and so forth. And what a lot of folks forget is that, hey, when it goes down, it's not like we sit around and go, hey, you know what? We're at the drive-thru right now. We should probably get to the office and see what's up. No. You've been to the Zoc. You've been to the
I have
operation.
not.
You have never been to the. Have any of you guys been to
I
the?
saw it during the reveal event.
Right.
I'm banned at the gate. Like they don't let
Oh,
me
okay.
in. My
Well,
picture is
that's-
there.
Mitch
Like,
has
do
been
not
there.
admit this man.
But you know what I'm talking about, Mitch. We've got a whole staff of a team of folks, and it looks like NASA.
Yes.
Like there's
like the elevated desks.
There's
and
the
stuff.
elevated desks, and what you don't see is maybe I think they had this in when you guys were in, but there's like each of the stations has a different function. Like here's matchmaking.
Yeah.
Here's the friends list. Here's the store.
It's a
here's,
bunch of scary, different looking monitors. That I don't
yeah,
understand
and you
with
can
math
see
on
when
them.
something happens that the team snap into action. They know pretty much before anybody else. Oh, something's going on here, and they snap into place, and it's 24/7, 365. So, unfortunately, some problems are just more complicated than others.
Right.
I mean, that's it, and nobody likes it. We hate it. Nobody wants this to happen. And sometimes the issues that happen, unfortunately, take a little bit longer to resolve.
Now, for the things like these hacker groups that like to try and make attacks from time to time,
Yeah.
Can Microsoft take aggressive legal action against these guys? What recourse do you have as an organization to try and stop? Because of course, the day-to-day things might go down, little bits and pieces here and there, but what tends to make the news is these over the holidays, these coordinated attacks against just basically Grinches trying to ruin other people's Christmases.
Sure.
But what can Microsoft do to try?
I can't
thwart this
share
stuff?
details. I can just say that there's a lot of people working with the right authorities
Right.
to attend to this problem.
Good.
That's really all I can say. I mean, what we also notice, and sometimes there's issues that happen, a small little issue that people will raise their hand and say, "Yeah, we did that." Well, no, you didn't. I saw the report. no, you didn't. But there's a lot of activity going on in that area to see these. You're right. There are people on the internet that have nothing better to do than aggravate other people on the internet.
Right.
When those attacks were happening last Christmas, I believe it was last Christmas.
Well, the one before was the big one.
The big
I think
one.
It was 2014.
What was that like for that team? Was it just like all hands on deck?
Yeah, so you have to remember, because Microsoft's obviously a massive company, and a lot of what we do with Xbox Live depends on other parts of the company. So we've got the Azure team and the Bing team and the store team. So there's all these teams that, while they don't necessarily sit within the Xbox team, we work very closely with them, so they may as well. So I can say that there was a lot of emails over the holiday. There always is. Whenever there's an outage, my inbox fills up because I'm on the internal notifications. And the best thing I can do is I just let these really, really smart network engineers figure it out. And then,
you communicate it.
Yeah, and then a few days later, I'm never going to go to them like every 10 minutes because when back in the day when I started back with in 2003 when we would have an Xbox issue, I would go down to the ZOC. I'm like, so I'm going to hang out here for you guys, and they don't want that.
In the way.
They don't, I mean, who is that? You
Making
guy?
things slower.
Exactly.
We're good.
Yeah, I'm like, okay, see you guys, and then, let me know when you fix something.
Yeah.
So my job is really to stay out of the way and make sure that folks know, yes, we're aware of it. Yes, we want to fix it. But again, I want to point out, nobody wants this to happen. We're not happy when our fans are unhappy. But I will say this is that out of all of the services, our team is incredible. They're world-class engineers, some of the best in the industry. I mean, these are some of the guys and girls that invented a lot of core networking components back in the day with Windows. So it's really amazing when you look at these engineers. It's like, wow, way, way, way smarter than I am.
Well, good.
Anyway, so I'll
hopefully, yeah, and I would hope that the team is taking notes on things like, if X happens, you can't access your digital purchases offline.
Sure.
And maybe that stuff, because you guys have been so good about doing monthly or nearly monthly updates to the console to add new features and to make things better for end users.
And to your point, a lot of the folks, we talk about the monthly features that we do, and we just released some last week. We've got some more coming out, yeah. And that's a lot of the stuff. People want new features that do X, Y, and Z, but there's actually a lot of stuff that happens behind the scenes that people don't really need to know about, but it just makes the system better.
Yeah.
And this is one of the ways. Like, there's a lot of things they've done that have mitigated a lot of things that people haven't even noticed. Things that perhaps have happened or have actually stopped things from happening. And that's really all I can say about that.
Fair enough.
Does that make sense?
Sufficiently vague.
Sufficiently vague.
All right, well, let's get to some news. Let's just talk a little Xbox. We'll come right back right after this. All right, we are here with the man of the hour, Larry Hryb, a.k.a. Major Nelson. It says so on his business card.
It does.
I thought you were going to say me. Now I feel bad.
Mitch Dyer too.
Mitch Dyer. Also Mitch Dyer.
I'm so honored to be on a show with you guys. This is seriously.
Thanks.
I mean,
Likewise.
I listen to the
This is
show.
great.
And you,
This is the crossover.
This is exactly
the
what we
two
want.
biggest Xbox podcasts on the internet getting together here. I
That's-
love it.
That's right. All right, so you guys got. We have a ton of news to talk about.
I want to start with the thing I'm most excited about.
This is really cool.
This I could not. This pushed me over the top as far as we all know Halo 5 multiplayer. We all agree that it's. I think we agree that it's the best Halo multiplayer since 2.
It's stellar.
Yeah,
It's incredible.
Yeah.
And the post-release plan. So Larry, we tend to whine every chance we get. Anytime there is a season pass, they're usually $50, and it's like, and we'll tell you later what you'll actually get.
Yeah.
Just give us your $50.
Money up front. We'll get to you later.
So we don't like that.
Right.
Halo 5 could not be. 343 is handling this. The post-release support for Halo 5 is just, it's flawless. And every month we're getting new content.
Yep.
We've gotten new maps. We got another new map, and we are now getting, not this month. We're going to cover some of the this month stuff, but they announced Firefight will return
That's
in
right.
the form of Warzone Firefight, meaning more than 4 people, and
Right.
presumably on probably the larger
Right. The larger
maps.
Warzone maps.
People are stoked.
Yeah, this
How
is something,
great is this?
Yeah.
This is something
Firefight's
that
awesome.
leading up to the Halo 5's launch, we were constantly just bugging those guys like Kevin Quinn, where is it? Where is it? Is Firefight coming back?
Yeah.
Firefight coming back? They're
Well,
like,
we were convinced.
No, it's not.
We were convinced when it went away in 4,
You'd never see it again.
Mitch and I particularly were not fans of Spartan Ops. It was not our thing. We
Yeah.
thought for sure they'll bring back Firefight in 5.
We were all playing through that together, and I just remember I'm like, oh, this episode felt pretty good. They built, didn't quite get where we wanted it.
And sure enough, Spartan Ops went away, but Halo Warzone Firefight now. More than 4 player. We don't know how many more. We don't have the details yet. It's just a little teaser at the end of this month's content trailer.
I love that. I'm super interested to see, obviously, like, how big is our fire team going to be? What kind of bosses are we going to be up against? And are the objectives from Warzone in play?
Larry, how much Halo do you get to play?
I play. That's actually my go-to. I mean, I'm so excited. I love the social capture the flag that was in over the weekend. What I know, you brought up an interesting point, Ryan, is we talked about how we've got the monthly releases, and a lot of folks. And we talked about the season passes.
Glasses
and so
are coming
forth,
off. This is going to be good.
which is really dangerous when it comes to multiplayer, because what happens is it fractures the community.
Exactly correct.
You have the maps. I don't have the maps. I didn't buy that map, but you bought that map. So we're all in together. Oh, you couldn't play the map.
Yeah.
What 343 is done is, I think, is rather brilliant, is the fact that, hey, everybody gets all the maps, and they're going to make things up with the rec packs.
Yeah.
Right, and that's how they're kind of having some additional revenue, I assume, on the side.
Yeah.
But it's such a great way to execute it and keep the fans together.
And it's an evolved version of, I mean, for some of you guys might not remember, Larry, you will, way back, Halo 2, the map packs would be charged for the first, I think, 2 months, and then they would go free to
No
then
kidding.
unify the community. So if you want it in right
I
away,
could tell
go ahead
you
and
back
drop
in the
the
day,
10
Mitch,
bucks.
when you were young. Yeah, I mean, do you remember that? It was
sure
exactly,
do.
and it was very clear. It was the epic pack.
And this is even better.
Yeah.
This is better. So Warzone Firefight will return.
Yeah.
The new mode called Warzone Firefight will bring PvE to Halo 5 Guardians multiplayer.
Boot.
So good. But I'll tell you what, between Firefight and Firewatch, it is a great year for fire-based
There's
entertainment,
lots
is
of
it
fire,
not?
isn't there? There's a tremendous amount of fire.
Love it.
Looking forward to Firefighter 2016.
Absolutely. Why not?
Sim.
And what we're also getting, what is out today. So Firefight not dated.
Yes.
Frank, I did read a post on NeoGaf from Frank O'Connor who suggested it would be sooner rather than later.
Yeah.
Maybe a
But-
March-ish.
Well, I don't know about that soon, but he seemed to infer first half of the year.
All right.
I wonder if
That's
this,
fine.
Larry, I wonder if this will be one of those things where Phil gets on stage, or Bonnie Ross, when we're talking Halo, and she'll show Halo Wars 2 on stage at E3, and then at the end say, and by the way, right now you can go play Warzone Firefight.
And then we
Halo
abandon
5.
E3 forever.
Well, I'll just say this. I have no idea what's going to happen, but I hope it doesn't happen, because I will not be able to play, because I'll be at E3.
Yeah.
That's a small price to pay for the
That
good
happens
job
to
you
us
get
a lot.
to
It's
do.
like, and you can play
Yeah.
this right now. It's like,
Oh,
no, I
no,
can't.
man.
No.
Everyone's
Yeah.
cheering except
I
everyone in
gotta
the
write
room.
your dumb news. I can't go play your game right now.
Destin, what else are we getting that's out today in this February pack called Hammerstorm?
Well, let me look at the script. February Hammerstorm content, Griffball, Assault, and Fiesta modes, and a new map called Torque.
All new map, not a remix of anything.
Did you read about Torque?
Nice.
I just saw it in the trailer.
But did you see what they did? So I don't know if I don't want to get too down on the show here, but there's a couple in the Halo community. There's this young family, and this gentleman lost his 2 daughters in a fire. I don't know if you read this story.
No.
And if in this, so there's a post up on Halo Waypoint about this. What they did is they actually put a couple of there's an emblem in the game that everyone's going to get for free, which is a homage to the girls. But in Torque, if you go into the map and you look up, you'll see the girls' names and stars.
Oh, that's
awesome.
It's
That's
really
amazing.
extraordinary.
That's
So-
really great.
That's cool.
Yeah, it's really
Yeah.
touching for the Halo community. But it's the map looks great. I'll just say that.
So-
Even if you're not looking up, it looks great.
And Griffball, which of course has been it was invented by the community and
Right.
has since become
Yeah.
an official
A
game
thing unto
mode.
itself.
It was
Yeah.
the first
In
real
Halo.
big thing that came out of Forge that everyone's like, yep, I want this in my life forever.
To enable this, the gravity hammer has been added.
Yeah, because
Obviously.
what's Griffball without a gravity hammer?
Exactly right.
I think it's just soccer.
And then Assault, which of course we remember from Halo 2. It's
Yeah.
a great big team thing. And for me, this probably I'm the only one that's most excited about Fiesta. I love Fiesta in Halo 2. You throw that on with your friends, and everybody spawns with a random
Do you guys
weapon.
remember
Yeah.
Fiesta?
I
You
don't know if I ever
you
played
spawn
Fiesta.
Get
in.
out of here! Of course
Yeah.
you did.
You spawn in, and you could have a pistol, and I could have a rocket launcher.
That's
the next
beautiful.
spawn, you could have a plasma pistol, and I could have a plasma. It's all random.
I love
right?
that.
It's so great.
I love that.
I love that bringing this back. But possibly best of all, and probably game breakiest of it
Yes.
all. In addition to the gravity hammer being added into Halo 5.
I can't wait to hear it.
You want to hear
The
this?
gravity hammer.
You ready?
Yes.
Oh,
Oh,
no.
the gravity hammer
No,
and
you're gonna
what you're
wanna
about
hear
to
this.
say. Yeah.
The Halo Combat Evolved pistol.
That's right.
3-shot death machine
OP.
has been added
So-
back into Halo 5.
I have a genuine concern about this. Not like
Let me finish.
All right.
And then I'll let you go.
All right.
Just the official description.
Yes.
Just going to read the poetry from 343 here. The Halo CE pistol brings back a legacy of single-handed death dealing. Be sure to watch for the classic headshot death animation when you deliver the
Oh, is that
killing
like when the
blow.
head snaps back
And
into
you
the
spin.
armor or whatever? Oh, that's right.
Nice.
I forgot about
And
that.
then you're done.
I love that.
Go ahead. Share your concern, Mitch.
My
Rain on the parade.
My genuine concern. I'm going to rain on the parade. Obviously, it's awesome this is going back. I love this weapon. It's going to break everything. It's going to be awesome. I want to know how this is going to affect HCS. Like, is this going to be in professional Halo?
I doubt it.
I doubt it as well.
I do too, because it can't be.
Yeah,
But if
it's just
everybody
Although,
has it,
I
then
would
that's an
love
even
to
playing
see
field.
a Halo Championship Series Pro
Pistols
Esport
only?
League where it's just Halo 1 death pistols.
I would love that.
That would be
that
great.
could be a hell of a warm-up match. Yeah. But yeah, you're right. I think I don't think they'll allow it in there.
Yeah, just because it negates the need of literally any other weapon. In the entire game. So why bother?
So Larry, your job is
Yes.
to go to all the other internal studios.
Yes.
So the coalition,
Sure.
whoever it is, and let them know the community loves what 343 is doing. You guys need to follow the
Well,
same.
so to your point, I
blueprint
know
here.
that a lot of our internal studios are looking very closely at what they've had with the success. I mean, at the end of the day, you can have all these great ideas, but unless you have the core base great game, which we all agree Halo 5 is, the multiplayer is fantastic, and then build upon it. I know that a lot of the other teams, to your point, the Coalition, and some of the other studios that we've got inside. Forza is a little different because it's
Sure.
right.
The rollout's very specific.
bring the Halo pistol to that too.
Oh, yeah.
But I'm saying, yeah, but you also remember that a lot of the studios don't have the history that Halo. Very few games have this deep history. So they're tapping into it the right way.
Yeah, it's just brilliant. Hats off to 343. You know, we are not fans of the campaign from that game, but good God, the multiplayer could not have
Just
been handled better.
exceptional.
It's brilliant, and I just salute them over and over again.
I saw people this morning who were like, who knew this was coming, tweeting about it. They're like, "We're so happy we can finally tell you what's coming in the Halo universe." They're really excited.
Even Phil Spencer today took to Twitter to be like, "I'm so
yeah.
happy I can finally tell you about Warzone Firefight."
Yeah, I've been watching the internal stuff on this for a few weeks now, because I read about this and I was like, what? I had the same concerns you did as well. Mate,
Yeah.
Anyway.
Next up, Todd Howard, our friend of the show. Haven't gotten to talk to him since E3 because He's too big for us now.
That's the first time I've
he's-
talked to him in like 4 years when I saw him
Todd-
backstage at E3.
Todd
He used to be on
doesn't.
both of your shows a lot.
Yeah.
Yes, Todd doesn't like to. He's earned the right to not leave his house, and
Yeah.
he doesn't. He doesn't. If he doesn't want to get on a plane and go talk to schlubs like me, he doesn't have to anymore. He's got 2 of the biggest franchises
I'll do
in
that,
the world.
Todd.
We'll come to you.
I even offered to come to them, and they're like, "Nah, just stay home.
Yeah.
It's fine." No,
Thanks,
I love
but
Todd.
No thanks.
So
I'm really excited about this piece of news, and I'm interested how it's going to work.
go ahead.
Why,
Take it
Destin?
away, Dick, because you are a huge Fallout 4 fan.
Yeah, so mods are going to be coming to Xbox in May.
Which I mean, we knew they were coming.
The tool is coming to PC in April.
Correct.
So, yeah, so we knew they were coming to Xbox first, Xbox One on the console side first.
Yes.
And I'm really curious, how is it going to work? How am I going to get mods working on my Xbox? What about licensed stuff? There's a lot of Star Wars mods and stuff. Are those going to be able to be played on your Xbox?
Can't imagine,
I'm,
right?
I'm really interested.
I'm sure they'll have to
Yeah.
all be vetted by Bethesda first.
Yeah, so is it gonna
to
be
make sure
like-
it doesn't just crash your game?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. So like stuff like craftable ammo, sure, that's going to be in there. But
Yeah.
like the Kylo Ren retextures and stuff
Yeah,
like
the
that.
quality of life stuff
right.
probably
Yeah,
a
how
lot
are
more
you gonna do
Or
accessible
that?
than
the
Stormtrooper
Macho
armor.
Man Randy Savage Death Claw.
Yeah, man.
Yeah. The John Cena Fat Man sounds, like all the really, really fun, silly ones. I don't know if they're going to be able to be ported over in the same way.
So this is coming a little later than
Mm-hmm.
Todd originally told me early 2016 for the Xbox One getting mod support back at E3, but you know it's not like Fallout fans have been starved for things to do in
No.
Fallout
No.
4.
Just go see Preston. He'll keep you busy.
Yeah. Literally yesterday, somebody realized that one of the characters from the Underground Railroad follows you through the main story. So he's spying on you the whole time. He's actually there. And
Really?
there's a montage of all the times he's there before you meet him.
Like he's creeping?
He's like there in the background, like chiming in, and they cut to him
In a
sometime.
windowless white van off the.
Basically, but you don't know who he is until
Yeah.
you meet him like 30 hours into the game.
Right.
It's really, really cool.
Wow. Wow.
Yeah.
That's sophisticated storytelling.
How much Fallout have you played, Larry? 'Cause
I think
you-
150 hours.
it's not too
A 4?
shabby.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, I just completely submerged myself in that throughout December, and I just kept going back.
So it's your job to stay up to date
Yeah.
on everything happening in the world of Xbox. How much of
And
your
yours.
day? Well, it is, but I also have to look after all the preview content for all the platforms
Right.
around here. So I'm curious, how much of your day do you actually get to spend playing games versus the usual BS meetings and boring stuff that no one wants, everybody knows happens, but
I tend to do it on the weekends and maybe a couple hours in the evening. During the day, I rarely play
yeah.
games.
And that's how I am too.
Yeah.
Here.
Really? That's all I do. No,
Yeah.
I'm just kidding.
It's
No.
one of those things where I was so busy during the day planning for things like
Yeah.
we've been planning for E3 2016 for weeks.
It starts in like January,
yeah,
right?
So we've been
Yeah.
doing that for weeks. So I just haven't had a lot of time. It's one of those things where my wife's like, "Hey, I'm gonna go out shopping. Have fun, honey." And I can get some gaming in, right? So I get that done. So it's not as much, to answer your question, not as much as I'd like to, but it tends to be in the evenings and then on the weekends as well.
Have you seen anything come across your E3 planning docs yet where you've just like stopped and gone, whoa?
No, and here's why. Because everything on my planning docs are code names, so I don't know what they are. So there could be 4 woes, but I just don't know what they are.
Interesting.
So, and I like to stay a little bit in the dark.
In case some intern leaks that to
Yeah.
somebody like us.
Intern.
You just
we-
know
then
that
we-
Project Pickup Truck is going to be
Yeah.
amazing.
Yeah. Could be an intern, could be a European website. Who knows?
Who knows?
What are the code names?
What are the It's just like, just give us something.
Nice
anything.
try.
Codename Panther.
Just put-
coming in slot 4.
Put fire in the code name and we know it'll be
Yeah.
good. That's clearly what
That's right.
2016's been all about.
Fire.
So more from Todd Howard. He was speaking at DICE accepting an award. That's why. So he
I
actually
believe it was a Lifetime Achievement Award. It wasn't just an award.
little bit of an award.
Some
It's
award.
just-
Some non-important thing.
This gets him out of the house,
Yeah.
out of the general Baltimore D.C. area.
Todd, we'd like to award you with IGN's Lifetime Achievement Award.
That's all we got to do. He says 3 new projects in the works at Bethesda, and I assume he's referring to Bethesda Game Studios, not the greater Bethesda collective.
He's not talking about Battlecry.
Or id, or
Right.
or any. So he says, "quote We actually have 3 longer-term projects that we're doing." Noting that the studio plans to, quote, talk about them at a future date. They're different than anything we've done before while also being a Bethesda-style game, kind of big and crazy, but in many ways different than things we've done before.
Different
Mitch,
than
what is he
anything we've
talking
done
about?
before. I really wonder if that means they're not doing another Elder Scrolls game right now. Like, is Skyrim 2 or Elder Scrolls 6 or whatever it is that one of those 3 games?
It has to be.
Well-
There's no way it's not.
I would agree with you if he didn't say different than anything
But
we've done
one
before.
He
of
could
them
be
could
doing
just be
that
different.
and 3 different things
Right,
somehow.
true. That's
I think
true.
one of them's a mobile game because they saw a lot of success with Fallout Shelter.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, they did open the Montreal studio. Probably
That's
for
Great
mobile.
point.
Wow.
That was that's a very, very valid point.
Yeah.
Mitch just like, let me soak that in for a minute.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, from the sound of this, very Bethesda style games, big and crazy, big open worlds, lots and lots to do, huge production value, all that kind of stuff. I would love for one of them to be a new IP. Would love to see Bethesda take a crack at something
Be nice.
way different, like way outside their comfort zone, tonally, thematically, whatever. I don't know. I don't know what else I want from this studio.
Have they tried a new IP in recent history that you
Well,
guys
they
can think
bought the Fallout
Yeah.
IP.
That was sort
So
of their last
not a new
reboot.
IP, but although it had been more or less dormant for many
Yeah,
years.
right,
Larry, you remember
right.
Fallout
Yep.
Brotherhood of Steel
Yep,
from
of course I
Interplay
do.
for
Of course
the
I do.
for the original Xbox?
Yeah.
That top-down sort of dungeon crawler.
It's kind of weird.
Like a
It was
Baldur's
all
Gate
right.
kind of thing?
Yes,
Yeah.
Baldur's
Okay.
Gate Dark Alliance style. Exactly right. That's really
Okay.
And then I guess
everyone thinks that Fallout, that franchise, was a success immediately. No, it was an overnight success that took how many years?
a lot of years.
Right,
Yeah,
a lot of years,
years, and a lot of Todd Howard
Yeah, a lot
to
of
make
Todd
it happen.
Howard.
Finally, from Todd, he wants to see shorter hype cycles. Quote, I hope that the way we did it with Fallout 4 changes how a lot of people do it and how successful it was doing that way. I think a lot of people are going to start doing that. That's my hope. As a gamer too, I want a period of time to be excited, and I don't want that to go away. Sometimes they announce, I get so excited, I want to buy this right now, and then I've got to wait.
Yeah.
Totally
Totally agree with
think
you.
about
I
this.
liked how they handled Fallout. It was
Me
like
too.
E3 announced, you can play the mobile game right now, and then
That
it was
kept
out in
that kept
November.
you busy through the summer.
Yep.
Yeah.
Gave you stuff
Yeah.
like Fallout 4 related until
Yeah.
Fallout 4 came out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm of two minds about this. I totally love exactly what you're talking about, right? That cycle, that short cycle of like, here it is, finally, good. I know it's happening, and I know when it's coming out, and I'm ready. But I also like imagine a world where we did not know about Quantum Break until 2 months ago.
And that gets to what the point I
Right, and
wanted
it's
to
like
make.
I like seeing demos for this game. I like listening to Sam Lake talk about it. I like the prolonged cycles because you get insight into the development,
Right.
not just like the hype train. There's more to it than that. This like you learn substantial things about how things get made and like what these people are thinking as they're making it, and that's super cool. I love that. That's part of my job is to like suss that out and talk to these guys and get those stories. So I love seeing that stuff in trailers and interviews and whatever.
And for me, I'm curious what you think about this, Larry. I think that the thing about that Todd either he probably realizes it, and it's just this. I may be reading too deep into it, but there's probably a short list that you could probably count on one hand of IPs that can get away with doing
Those AAA titles.
What
Yep.
it's Todd's got 2 of them,
Yep.
Elder Scrolls and Fallout.
Yep.
And then you've got Grand Theft Auto. Probably Call of Duty could get away with it. I mean, they actually.
Funny, they usually do actually.
That's true. I guess they usually announce in April, May,
but
and then
do
they're out in
they
November.
because it's an annual franchise?
Right, you're already
That's-
thinking about what it's gonna be now.
That's a fair
Okay,
point.
So let's reset that a little bit.
Right.
I agree with that.
That's a fair point.
But you're right. There's very few IPs that could do that because a lot of the game developers and publishers want that hype.
Yeah.
They want to drive up that hype, and they're trying some things different. There's a plan versus Fallout. It was an IP that was highly expected and people knew about it, so they could get. I don't want to say get away with it, but they could afford to do it that
Yes.
way.
How did it work with Grand Theft Auto 5? Like, when did that hype train
Well, they-
start?
Oh,
I mean-
God. That was like, remember when any day they'd send 3 screenshots and everything
right.
melted down?
I mean,
Right,
the
yeah.
thing with them is they did announce a good bit ahead of time, but they didn't. It was a pretty good drip feed. Like when they would do a drop, they were pretty infrequent, and it would usually just be a few screenshots, and then I mean, you remember we had the only kind of major preview coverage
Yeah.
for that. Like
I remember.
sort
We
of-
went to Rockstar,
Yeah, we
right?
connected with them
went-
on that.
We met them here and saw the game, and then
Did they put you in a room and
preview.
lock you in the room?
yeah,
I've been there.
yeah.
And so, yeah, it'll be interesting to see what, if any, changes they make to their plans for whatever their
I think
next big
part of
thing
it
is.
also has to remember is that back, as everything has changed over the past 10 years in terms of the cycles, the communication is now instantaneous. There's so many things that have changed that kind of lend to what Todd is talking about. Is like, hey, we're here to announce this new thing. Hey, this new thing's now available. Whatever that thing is, whether
Yeah.
it's a piece of electronics, because there's so much competition for our mind space right now that I can only think about the new sexy XYZ, whatever it's a title or a piece of hardware, for a short amount of time before, oh, something else. So it's like we're all Dory.
Squirrel.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Exactly. So.
All right. What else here? Let's talk a little marketplace. We always like to talk about what we can buy every week, Larry. And guess what? I owe you thanks because I consult your website every week to plan this out, to figure out exactly what's coming out both in retail and on the digital side.
Do you know why I do that?
Because it's really helpful?
Because A, it's really helpful, and the reason I post a lot of the content for the marketplace on my blog at majornelson.com is that back in the day, Xbox.com wasn't search engine optimized, and not only that, but it's also, to this day, still blocked by a lot of corporate proxies. So all of these,
But MajorNelson.com is not.
Correct. So all of these fans were at work and they're like, "What's going on?" And they couldn't tell because they were, now there's Reddit and there's some other things as well. But unfortunately, it was just tagged as gaming. And you work in insurance, you shouldn't be looking at a gaming site.
I'm so glad I work here.
Anyway, so I'm happy to provide that service to you and everyone else.
Well, I'm going to let you do the honor then.
Yeah.
Straight from your own blog.
Straight from my own blog, we got-
What is out there that we can either download for free or spend our money on this
Well,
week?
first of all, we've got Flame in the Flood, beautiful looking.
Game is so cool.
Right? So go check that out. That's up. The Walking Dead is out. That's $15 for all 3 episodes. Ep 1 is out now.
Michonne. I'm
Michonne,
curious to
sorry.
play that.
I know you like your Agatha Christie. There's
Big
a name that
fan.
a lot of
Big
kids
fan.
are like, what?
The ABC murders. So is Barbara Walters killed?
Yeah, I don't know what
And
that is.
help me.
Ted Koppel's missing. Help find him.
I'm Peter Jennings. Help me.
Wonder Shot for $11.04.
Yeah, it's an interesting sale.
I was like, what?
That's a gold sale price.
Reagan Gorbachev. Now, this is, it's funny. I was having a Cold War conversation last night, and here we are with Reagan Gorbachev.
I actually had to write down the description of this because
Yeah, go ahead and read the description.
I'm like, I see the title and I go, what?
Yeah.
And then I look at the screenshots and read the description and go, this sounds awesome. And it turns out, it's got I haven't played it yet, but it's got kind of a Hotline Miami type of vibe to it.
Right.
The year is 1986. Cold War leaders Ronald Reagan and Mikhail Gorbachev have been kidnapped by military extremists. Once rivals, now they must cooperate or die. Armed only with their fists and samurai swords and poison darts and pistols and shotguns and fully automatic assault rifles and grenade launchers and miniguns and bazookas, some other guns. Sneak, slash, or shoot your way through an army of mercenaries. Save the world from nuclear apocalypse. Reagan Gorbachev is a top-down stealth action game for 1 or 2 players.
Local co-op. By the way, if I haven't played this yet, but if Rambo doesn't make an appearance, I'll be very angry.
That sounds magnificent.
For 8 full 80s.
Absolutely.
Talk to me, Larry, about, are you with me on, so again, I had Greg Knessa in here on my show Unfiltered, which is sort of our Charlie Rose long-form interview show. He is very much with me. He is on board with me on the hashtag #BringBackXBLA. How do you feel? Because so here I complain about this every week. I'm going to constructively say this to you since you're here. I feel that Xbox is doing a disservice to these ID at Xbox games that they're only ever seen if you happen to go to your blog and see, oh, this is out this week, and then you click on the description. I feel like because there's no Live Arcade Wednesday and there's no sort of hype or Microsoft is not really putting any weight, in my humble opinion, behind some of these really clever, really interesting ID at Xbox releases. We come on the show every week and we're like, well, replay, VHS is not dead, $10. Don't know what that is.
What is it?
And I think I also would add trial versions.
Yeah.
It's optional now. We see some games do it. It was mandatory on the Xbox 360.
Yeah.
Where do you stand on this stuff?
So I'll say this is that I think arcade again was a great defining feature of the product. It was also a different time then. We talk a lot about that. How it was. There wasn't really a way for a lot of independent developers to get out there. Of course, now we have Steam, Greenlight. There's a bunch of other platforms, and they can go right to mobile now, right? So there's a bazillion ways to do it. And our idea at Xbox games is one. So I think it's just that things have evolved now. Now providing exposure, that's a different problem. And I agree with you is that we need to be better at that. And that's why I like to make sure that I mention them on my blog. I put them in the show this week on Xbox as often as I can. It's just that everyone's making a game now, right? Doesn't it feel like everybody's...
There's almost too many.
With Live Arcade, though, you guys would curate that stuff. And on Wednesdays, it would be, all right, here's like 2 or 3 that are sort of what we have deemed to be the creme de la creme this week.
Limbo Braid, Insanely Twisted Shadow
Well,
Planet.
that's Summer of Arcade, which of course is
which is a promotional leg of this stool.
I feel like you guys have dipped your toe back into that with that summer spotlight we got last year, but I just feel like we need to jump in the pool, Larry. We need to bring Live Arcade back, bring a regular, because these things, the games that you just listed that I shamelessly stole from your blog.
Sure, that's fine. That's why it's there.
Some of them came out yesterday. Some of them came out today. Some of them drop on Fridays. There's no rhyme or reason to any of this, and I feel like it's doing Xbox fans a disservice.
Well, the other challenge is that I know
and the games themselves.
Developers want to get when it's done, they want to get it out as quickly as possible. So it costs them money if we say, you know what, we're going to wait till next Wednesday.
But how much? I mean, well, all right.
Right.
I don't want to argue with you.
Right. I'm just saying that's one of the challenges. I'm not saying. I agree with you. Is we need to do a better job at merchandising them. Absolutely. No. Absolutely. We can't. You and I completely agree on that. I think it's also there's also the question is, and again, I'm not saying that about these particular titles.
Right.
But there's also some games that probably don't deserve they may not be very good.
Well, then don't hold them up for the Live Arcade Wednesday.
Right,
you know?
right.
We don't have to put everything.
So what I'm hearing is I'm hearing you want a schedule. Is that accurate?
I want a schedule, and I think
schedule like that every X day or every day, maybe it's Wednesday.
That I'm going to get something good that you and your team or whoever or Chris Charla's team has deemed. All right, this is the good stuff this week.
Right.
That's I think would be doing the games and the community
I'll
a
take
better
that
service.
feedback back to Chris and the team.
And I really truly believe, and I talked to Greg about this, Knessa, I really think, I mean, I don't know what your conversion rate is on the games you do have trials for, but I think, Reagan Gorbachev is a perfect example. It's a $10 game.
Yep.
If there were a trial of that where I could play the first level or whatever, play it for
early
5
1986.
minutes, if it's timed, whether it's a timed thing or whether it's a structure limitation,
right?
If I could try that, I might really like it and go, okay, cool, I'm totally spending the $10.
It's we do have those tools, and the developers can choose to do.
But they're not mandated.
You're right, they're not
I would
mandated.
love to see you guys.
Because then it gets back to the problem of Microsoft tells us what to do all the time. We got to do this, and then we're
isn't it can't you convince them that it's in their best interest to cut the trial version?
I wish we like to do that as best we can.
Help me understand.
But it's
Larry.
also it's work for them.
Of course it is.
It's always it's all these features, and that is a feature.
Yeah.
Is work for them. I would love to see more trials as well. That's without a doubt. I mean, that's we try to do something creative like we're doing with All Access. With EA All Access, where there's that you can play it for so many hours and so forth before it comes out, which is one way to do it.
I think the preview program has some of that stuff too, right? Like before you get the Long Dark, you get like 2 hours or something, and then you can buy the early access version of it.
Right. So we're experimenting with a couple of things. The answer's in here somewhere.
Sure.
That's we're trying to find the right way to do it.
Yeah, I just appreciate you listening while you're here.
Please,
that's all. Because we yell about it into the ether all the time.
Oh no, I listen.
But
I hear you.
You're busy doing your own show.
We hear you.
We know Phil listens. We know he's listening.
Phil does listen.
He hasn't checked in a while.
That's true.
This is a test. I'm going to quiz him tomorrow.
He does listen very because sometimes I'll run into him. Like in the elevator or something, or even over in the cafeteria, and he'll make a flip comment about my podcast. Like, hey, you guys talked about this weird thing in the last 5 minutes. So he listens a lot to all of the shows. I'm just warning you.
This is a test, Phil. I'm gonna come quiz you tomorrow.
We can talk about cooking. That's something he always remembers. Phil, you want to talk about cooking?
All right. Well, in any case, thank you for that insight. I appreciate
I mean, I feel your pain.
Good. All right. Let's come right back and do some trivia before, sadly, we have a hard out. Otherwise, I would keep this guy for 3 hours if I could. But we've all got to go. So we'll be back right after this. All right. I'm really thrilled to play the Unlock Block trivia game with Major Nelson himself, with Larry Hryb while he's here. Now,
this is going to be
I will confess, I did not get this one right. When I read the emails, like, man, I don't remember the answer to this one. I would not have gotten this right. But we'll see how you guys do.
All right.
I'm going to bring up the scoring after I read the question. So,
These are really
our
good.
question comes to us this week from Chris Anger. That's a
Relax, Chris.
Hi, Chris.
Like, I'm sure he's gotten a lifetime
Can I
of that.
say where
Thanks,
he's
Mitch.
from?
I'm sure he's
Please
never heard
do.
jokes.
Wauwatosa, Wisconsin.
Oh,
That's
wait.
Destin territory right there.
Where's that?
Next page.
Back page.
Right?
Wauwatosa.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wauwatosa.
Love it.
Close enough.
So,
Wauwatosa.
Chris, thank you for writing in. You're going to get yourself a copy of some Xbox game I've got in my email, probably a Gears of War. Maybe Larry can hook us up with some free games that we can give out to
You're
people.
going to get a free copy of Borderlands and Sherlock Holmes Crimes and Punishment. No, I'm just kidding.
Agatha Christie,
Everybody
ABC
gets
Murders coming up.
I know you want that Agatha Christie.
So, yeah, you win a game just for if I choose your question.
I'm familiar with
There's
the
no real
contesting.
order. Okay, good. All right, I know.
Are you familiar with trivia?
Well, you do name the game. You do the sound thing,
I do.
right?
I do name the game a little
Yeah,
sound
the
clip, so this is a little bit easier,
Yeah. All right. So
or not. Depends how we do
we'll
here.
see. The question from Chris is, what was the first Xbox 360 game to have over 1,000 gamer score? You'll recall that at one point the rules were changed.
Yep.
And DLC could push a game over
On that glorious day.
over a 1,000 total points.
Right.
So we have the choices are Halo 3, Forza Motorsport 2, Gears of War, referring to 1, or Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2. Mitch, Marty not here, but Mitch and Marty tied for the year lead in the scoring here with 4 points each. Destin at 2, the Shark at 1. Poor guy never gets to come on.
Yeah.
Larry, chance to get on the board.
Who's the guy who has 0?
Right now, it's me.
Our guest.
Yeah, the
Destin.
guest from like January.
So am I guessing? Am I giving you my answer first?
Yeah, I'll go to Larry first. What do you
So
think?
it's funny is you've given me some options here, so you don't make me look like a complete
Correct. You
moron.
can at least get a 25%
Can I read the options?
chance.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So Halo 3, Forza Motorsport 2, Gears of War, the original, or Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2. So my gut, now you'll see I have Halo 3 circled here.
Yep.
But for some reason, Gears of War is in my head.
You and I are
Okay?
having the exact
Yeah.
same
Right.
crisis right now. I did the exact same thing.
Right.
I'm trying not
So
to
I'm gonna
change
say-
it to Gears.
I'm going to go Gears of War.
Okay, so you had Halo
You
circled.
circled Halo.
You have legally changed your answer prior to
correct.
Yes,
Delivering
so
it.
Gears of
Do
War.
I need to block it
so
out?
Mitch Dyer, where did you land on this?
I'm gonna stick with Halo 3 because it's that like instinct thing. Like I'm pretty sure it was Halo 3.
Go with your gut type situation.
Yeah, but I remember Gears getting that DLC, the
That's what I'm
deleted
talking about.
chapter, right?
Yes.
Where they were sneaking in with the
Yep.
guard
Yep.
uniforms. But I know that on my profile, at least I'm 90% sure that I have achievements that I just never got for Halo because they added them. So it's like I have 800 out of 1300 or whatever.
Oh, it's more.
Ugh.
Destin, what? So
Halo
you're
3.
sticking with
So-
Halo. Destin, what do you say?
So I know about the Halo 3 DLC and the Gears of War DLC that came later, like the multiplayer stuff. And I was just like, did Gears come first or did Halo come first? Which one was it? And like they have Forts in there. I thought like maybe it's that one because I just don't follow that franchise
Right.
close enough. I know it's not Call of Duty, or I'm pretty sure it's not
Yeah.
Call of Duty. I said Halo 3.
Okay.
Okay.
Well, you guys could have maybe used time. So of course Halo 3, a 2007 game.
Yep.
Forza 2
It's
was
Forza.
probably 06,
Yeah.
but I don't quite
Maybe
remember.
early
It is
07.
Forza.
Hold on. Gears was 2006. Modern Warfare 2 was like was 08 because it was every other year at that
Right,
point, and
right.
Modern Warfare 1, Call of Duty 4
Right,
was 07.
right.
So, Larry, you were wise to change your answer. It is Gears
Yep.
of War.
Damn it. That's exactly what it
I'm
was.
sorry.
Damn you,
buddy.
Dom and Marcus!
I'm gonna put Larry.
Sneaky chapter.
I'm gonna add him on here. You're on the board.
I'm on the board.
That
So-
was
on the
like
board.
ripping me apart inside.
Well,
I
it's
was like,
funny because I knew that it wasn't Call of Duty either.
couldn't be.
And I was like, I knew it's not Forza. Halo 3. Then I did exactly what you did.
Yeah.
I went through the calendar and I
chronology.
realized
Yep.
Gears Works. I remember that. So there
Well,
we go.
if you would like to try to stump the panel and win yourself
Stump the chumps.
some sort of Xbox
I like
game,
that a lot.
that's a little too accurate. That's,
Too close to home.
yeah, it's a little too close. Send your Xbox-related trivia question. Include 4 multiple-choice answers. Please note the correct one. And send that where, Mitch?
Unlocked at IGN.com.
Outstanding. We're right on time.
Look at that.
We're going to get out of here on time. I want to go to Larry Hryb first. HRYB.
That is correct.
Don't mess it up. I once messed it up in print.
Oh no!
Forever.
I do remember that.
HYRB.
Oh, no.
Big mistake.
My wife-
Learned my lesson big time on that
Frame
one.
the page.
Do you want me to give you the mnemonic? I gave you the mnemonic.
Is there a
right?
mnemonic?
Yeah.
I like it.
Here's how
Oh.
this is how you remember it.
Yeah.
So my last name is Hryb.
Yeah.
People can usually get the H.
Yeah.
They can usually get the B.
B's pretty solid.
It's alphabetical from H to the B.
Oh, there you
Yeah.
go.
HRY and then
Done.
slap the B on the end.
Done.
So
You are, of course, at Major Nelson on Twitter, majornelson.com.
thank you.
You have
Snapchat.
Major Nelson Radio, your
I do
podcast.
have Major Nelson Radio.
Every
which is,
week, yes? Sundays you drop your episodes?
I used to do it on Sundays. You're going way back. I now
Yeah.
do it on Fridays.
Fridays.
It's infrequent at best. It's like we've been going once or twice a month with all the events going on. So, but
Fair
yeah,
enough.
That's how you find it.
Anything else you want to plug?
You can find me on Snapchat. Apparently, the kids are using that now. Snapchat,
I love it.
Instagram, all those places. But yeah, I really.
Hello.
Peach. Is anyone using that name? Or but seriously, I want to thank everybody. I want to thank everybody, all of the 920,000 followers, of which are listening to this show.
I hope so.
And thank you guys, more importantly, for having me by here. I really enjoyed it. I'm glad we finally did.
Yeah,
it.
let's come back sometime.
Yeah,
Please.
you'll need to come back, and we'll because you had this whole background in radio.
Yeah.
Like, I am fascinated by your past and how you got to be in this utterly unique role of where you are. So we'll get into that
there's
another
a story
time.
to be told, my friend.
We'll get into that another time.
Thanks.
Next time you're in San Francisco, just reach out.
Next time you're in Seattle, you can
Next
come on
time,
my
there we go.
show.
I would
Right? We
love
need to return the favor now.
Anytime.
So,
Anytime.
all of
Happy
you,
to.
all of you.
Any
Destin,
excuse
Mitch.
I have to come up to Xbox campus is a good excuse.
Yes, all right.
Destin Legary.
Yeah.
Plug away.
So we just wrapped up our first with the Division, and we have a
Yes.
level 27 walkthrough. He actually levels up to level 28 at the end.
Ooh la la.
It's pretty
Spoiler.
cool. It's pretty cool. He shows like what an end game character is like, and what some of the end game content is like in
Nice.
that game.
Nice.
I edited the piece, so I was super excited to get it out there. Really proud of it. And follow me on Twitter at Destin Legary.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Mitch Dyer.
I am at Mitchy D on Twitter, and you should listen to and subscribe to IGN Overclocked if you like PC video games. Hopefully, Phil will talk more about that at GDC.
Tomorrow.
tomorrow, yeah.
Well, tomorrow as we record. Yeah. We
There
know.
is a talk at GDC, Microsoft in the Future of PC Gaming.
You and I
Very
went to that
excited.
talk last year.
Hopefully it's
the
different this
fireside
year.
chat. Yeah, we'll see. It'll be good. And you can find me on Twitter at DMC_Ryan. I have a paltry 55,000 followers. It's no 912,000. So, maybe send some of your guys my way. It's all good.
Thanks, man.
What else? Yeah. The Division IGN first wrapping up. IGN Unfiltered, I want to plug that again. That is the monthly long-form interview series with the most recent episode, Greg Canessa,
Yep.
the driving force behind Xbox Live Arcade. Just what a fun chat
Bless him.
I had with him. And I think that'll do it. Well, it'll be off. Now, I was going to say, there's a great on IGN Snapchat today, but of course it disappears by the time anybody hears this.
Yeah.
There is a fantastic video that the Snapchat team cut together of my dog, Maggie the Boxer, kicking the crap out of our fighting game pro, Vince Ingenito, in Street Fighter V. So
that's the kind of stuff you got to follow them on Snapchat.
Yeah,
that's the kind of
that's
stuff.
why
I
I
you
tune
do.
in.
weirdly, and this is not like you should follow us on Snapchat promotional thing. I love our Snapchat stuff.
It's
like,
really
It's
good.
really
It is
good.
too.
It's
Yeah.
weirdly good. Like I downloaded it specifically because we have this Snapchat team making Snapchat stuff, and I was like, ugh, Snapchat, I don't care. And now it's just like
Now you can't stop
You
watching
find
it.
yourself checking in every day.
exactly. It's just a
Well,
bunch of awesome comedy sketches
just
and
different.
like short
It's-
form
it's
versions
just
of our
different.
stuff. It's
Yeah.
awesome.
It's like if IGN were drunk.
Basically,
I mean,
Check it out.
And that's a compliment.
I love that. That's the best pitch I've ever heard.
All right. Thank you, Destin Legary, Mitch Dyer, Larry Hryb. Thank you.
Thanks, guys.
This
I really
was
appreciate it.
This was almost 4 years in the making. That's how
Pleasure-
long
the
I've
pleasure
worked
was
here.
all mine.
This is
Pleasure was all
great.
mine.
We'll do it again. Be sure to follow Larry on everywhere he just said. Listen to his podcast, but keep listening to ours because we want to stay the #1 Xbox podcast.
Of course.
It's an ego thing.
That's fine. That's
I'm
fine.
not going to
Yeah,
lie.
I'll take the Twitter followers.
It's all good. Everybody, thank you so much, and we'll be back with the full showcase report once the embargo is lifted. We'll talk about that stuff next week.